Hello friends, I hope that you've been well. I'm so excited to finally announce the official launch date of my custom paintbrushes. They are going to be launching December 1st. I teamed up with Craftimo. If you know, I've been teasing about these brushes for months now. We've gone through a few different samples. They allowed me to pick out the colors, the shapes, the lengths, the number of brushes, and so I think that I can confidently say that this is personally my ultimate paintbrush set to achieve the types of illustrations that I make. And I have been using these paintbrushes consistently for months now, and I love them. I think you guys who are a lover of pastels will really enjoy them, and they not only look amazing, but they perform great. And yeah, today I'll be showing you the full unboxing of what you can expect from these brushes if you decide to pick a pack up yourself. So anyway, without further ado, here is the paintbrush and unboxing reveal. And here is the final box. I am so happy with how it turned out. I actually have a whole YouTube video showing the process of me working on this particular illustration, so I'll have that linked if you haven't seen it yet. I love the accent of pink, and it might be hard to see on camera, but the lettering actually has a little bit of a glossy finish, which is a nice little touch. And yeah, the illustration was, of course, using the paintbrushes, and it was a combination of watercolor and inks and I think a little bit of gouache, if I'm remembering correctly. I like having the illustration sort of wrap around the edges. And then on the back, this was actually previous illustrations that I had done for Patreon, but it is of the two characters here who I've named Buttercup and Aster, and so they actually are holding their respective namesake flowers, which I thought was a nice little touch. And so I actually have not opened this up yet, so we're gonna do it together on camera. So it has this little magnetic flap here, which of course, extra detail on that. Let me zoom out for you here for the inside. So we have just a continuation of the flower motifs and my brand name and Craftimo and all that good stuff. And then we have the little illustration on a little sheet here. You can frame this or use this as some kind of print somewhere if you'd like. And then when you flip this over, it actually has some information about the brushes. They are 100% cruelty free, and it also has a link here for how to care for the brushes. Honestly, I use just water most of the time, just so long as you're rinsing out the brushes when the paint is still wet. I find that is usually pretty sufficient, but if you want more info, they have it linked there. I decided to go with a black for the inset for the brushes, just to create more contrast, since we did have that kind of going on with the illustration with lots of pastels but then dark background. I thought that was pretty fitting for the actual paintbrushes as well. And yeah, we have 6 brushes here. First up, we have a 3/4 inch flat, and they are branded with my imawonder here as well as Craftimo, and they have the rose gold hardware, and it is a pastel pink with a light blue end. And then a nice extra touch that I really enjoy is the light pink tips on the white bristles. These are a synthetic bristle. I personally prefer synthetic because I find it's the most versatile. Then we have a number 6 round, which is a super versatile paintbrush. I love the length here. I actually went through a couple different lengths to get it exactly the way that I liked it, and has a nice little sharp taper there. Next, we have a number 8 filbert. So these ones are, the shape is flat but then rounded on the very top, and I really love this shape for acrylic gouache specifically because it's a slightly thicker medium of paint, and so I find that this shape is really good for getting smooth, flatter applications. And then to pair with that, we have a number 4 filbert, same shape, just a little bit smaller for smaller detailed areas. Then we have a number 3 round, of course, same thing as the number 6 here, just a little bit smaller for smaller areas. And then of course it would not be a imawonder set without a liner brush for line art and small details. This is a 3/0, so it's super fine for any little details, and of course doing any line art, which is a pretty prominent thing in my artwork. So yeah, that is the full set. I'm really happy with them. And just to give you an idea of how versatile these shapes are, I will do a little bit of swatching with them with you. Okay, so for when you initially get the brushes, they will have that plastic cap that I've taken off there, and they will have a slight amount of glue just to hold their shape in transit, but all you have to do is give them a little bit of a rinse in some clean water, and then they will have their full flexibility there. And I find that is especially apparent with the filbert shape here. It looks a little more tapered when it's glued, but then if you just give it a rinse there, then you can see its full shape and it's more rounded there. So something to note, of course, is that the paintbrushes will stain depending on the paints that you use. That's just inevitable, unfortunately, but I really wanted them to feel a little bit unique. So even though I knew that they were going to get stained with paints pretty quickly, I still wanted them to have that light pink touch. So this is the 3¼ inch flat brush, which of course is great for doing lots of large washes of color. You can also use it on the other edge if you want as well to get some really fine lines too. And of course will hold a lot of water and paint. I've rinsed it off here so you can see it's stained a little bit, but you can still see a little bit of that pink as well there. I'm actually going to go ahead and do the filberts next. We're going to start out with the 8 here and then the 4. And the rounds are definitely super versatile. So you can see you can get a lot of variety depending on how much pressure you put on the brush. The number 3 round. And then of course, the finest paintbrush, which is the 3/0. Which allows you to get really fine details, but is still got that flexibility so that you can have various line weights. I also wanted to show how these brushes perform with a heavier media. So we're going to be using my poster paints here by Shinhan. These are basically a gouache. But as you can see, the brushes, because they're a synthetic brush and they have enough structure, they hold the shape really well and also are able to hold and have really good coverage with gouache. And that is pretty much it from me. Thank you so much to everyone's excitement of leading up to these paintbrushes. I will have a link in the description for the launch page for the brushes. You have a little button that you can hit to get notified for via email when they drop. But again, they will be dropping December 1st. I'll be doing a live stream here on YouTube, and you definitely want to grab them as soon as you can. I think they will make a great gift for the pastel loving artist in your life, or for yourself, you know, treat yourself. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.